touchdown, Brendan Rice.
Jiminy.
Welcome to the Put On Waivers Media Group, home of the Put On Raiders podcast and the Student Body Right podcast. This is your place for the best breakdowns and the best insight for those who fight on and bleed silver and black. Now, here are your hosts, Dwayne Douglas and Ryan Holmes.
Welcome everybody to the glorious episode of the Student Body Right USC podcast. I'm your host, Dwayne Douglas, and as always, I am podcasting off the beautiful shores of the Pacific Ocean. Beautiful day out here in Southern California. PORSBR is my Twitter handle. And then you can always check us out on Instagram at @PutOnWaivers_podcast. That's @PutOnWaivers_podcast. And don't forget to check out myself and Ryan Holmes. We do this channel is Raiders, this channel is USC, and USC 56, Stanford 10. Goodbye to the Cardinal. Enjoy the ACC, the Atlantic Coast Conference. We are not worry about playing the Cardinal anymore because I didn't. Some folks wax poetic about the rivalry, and I guess between what I think 05, 07, and 07 and 2015, it was pretty good and pretty fun to watch. But for me, I'm good. I'm 100% good with it. I'm over it. I'm done. And USC is going to be going on to some bit bigger and better things this year, and then next year in the Big Ten. So we have to know that. Also, we have to know that. Also, actively black.com, 10% off. Promo code PORSBR. Promo code PORSBR for 10% off of all their activewear as well too. So check them out. I want to first of all give a shout, a fight on and everything to the crowd. That felt like college football at the Coliseum. That felt like USC. That felt like, old times. It felt like, just, growing up watching SC on TV. It felt good to watch that. And I think good for them. Good for them to be able to go out there and do that. And Lincoln Riley talked about getting the fans back into it. We need you there to do this. And they got some really tough games coming up, and they're going to need that crowd noise as much as they possibly can. And he asked LA to show up. He asked the Trojan fans to show up, and they showed up in a big way today against Stanford. And so did the team. The team responded to that. They came in, they ran out, and they played inspired football for Lincoln Riley and the coaching staff today. So as I applaud you, I also want to applaud the defense. Defensive unit played very well today. I know it's Stanford. I know it's all these things, but Stanford wasn't able to handle what USC had to offer today. They were in the backfield all the time. Tackles for loss, 6 tackles for loss. They forced a turnover early in the game. Max Williams got an INT and almost brought it back to the house. So like those things, and just getting stop after stop after stop. I mean, the turnover machine that was there last year early in the season may not come. That might not come, but at the very least, let's just keep putting things in the same direction where you can sit back and know that and trust that they can get stops. On Caleb Williams' podcast, he talked about, just kind of defending his brothers and talking about how this defense is much better than it was before. This is not last year's defense. And he's defending his brothers as far as that goes. He talked about that. And so far so good. Every game has been an improvement. Every game has been more activity. Every game has been more pressure on the quarterback. Every game there's been better tackling. So, we went from the San Jose game to the Nevada game and now to the Stanford game, and slowly but surely the opponents get better, but the defense has been getting better as well too. So we'll have to see if that continues. Listen, when you play a good quarterback, they're going to make plays. Can you fight? Can you hang on and make plays later on in that game to make the difference? Because the difference between, USC going to the college football playoff and USC sitting home and playing a team like Tulane is like this much. It's really that much. It's not much difference between the two. So if the defense can continue to do that, Tackett Curtis got some good pressure today on some blitzes. Bear Alexander has been 100%. Sometimes your team just gets a free agent or a transfer and it just never works out. And you just say, what the hell do we do? What was the point of that? But Bill Alexander is enjoying his life in Los Angeles. If you follow him on Instagram, he is enjoying his life. But when it comes to playing football on Saturdays, he's been tremendous for this team. He has been a leader on this team, and he's allowed people like people like Bird and people like Romello Height and those kind of players to just get to the quarterback. Solomon Bird today knocked out the quarterback today. He had a sack. He hit Austin Daniels' arm, and he knocked him out of the game. I mean, those are the kind of plays that change. Those kind of plays that change people's seasons. Like who knows when Daniels will be back, and who knows how that game goes if he stays in the game. So I still think USC is going to win the game, but let's just be real. Like I mean, that's a big thing there. So that ability to be able to do that, make those big plays defensively, get the ints, get the fumbles, tackles for loss. I mean, you just saw that Cardinal and goal in the backfield all the time in this game. So great job by them. It wasn't. I didn't see anybody get like beat over the top. Really, I mean, I think it's one play for Christian Roland Wallace that went over the top of his head. But besides that, they were solid today. They were solid today. They really were very good today. And if you're gonna kill them when they're bad, you gotta give them props when they're good. And I thought the USC defense was good today. No question about it. As far as that goes, the tempo, the speed, the the precision in which this offense is run is beautiful to watch. I mean, I don't like to miss anything Caleb Williams because I just feel like you're watching greatness and you're watching a guy who is probably the best quarterback to ever play at USC, and you just don't want to miss it. You don't want to miss a single play. I mean, the bomb to Brendan Rice, the scramble to Dorian Singer. The plays they always find a way to get Taj Washington involved. It's always like a Taj Washington drive in these USC games that really kind of just close the door on anybody's hopes to win that to win. It's crazy. And then the relationship he has with Marshawn Lloyd. I mean, he's been a fantastic running back so far. I mean, number zero has been anything but a zero, if you will, in this Lincoln Riley offense. He's been great. He's been fantastic, beautiful to watch in every aspect of the game as far as that goes. So USC is rolling. They're playing well. They're just picking up where they left off as far as like the tempo, the speed, and being just one of these teams that are just ridiculously explosive. Like it's going to be hard to keep, even when they play the good teams. And I'm not. This is not a diss to Utah. Everybody knows on this program I respect Utah. I respect Washington, but like it's Colorado. It's Colorado is showing that they're going to be a good team this year as well. It's going to be hard to keep this team under 50 in the 40 high 40s 50 range. I mean, they just are that explosive and they have so many weapons in order to beat you. And one of those weapons is Zachariah Branch. And how could you not? I mean, how could you not just completely enjoy and love watching a kickoff return or a punt return where number one is just doing something special? I mean, he is really just funny to watch. He's just great to watch. He has great spirit on this team. He is one of the guys who just gets everybody going. And he's also, I mean, Tyreek Hill, the Dolphins are playing the Rams this weekend. So Tyreek Hill was in the building. And that's the guy I really kind of see him as. Like he just gets the ball in his hands and you can just forget about it. He is gone. And he was a joy to watch again today as far as that goes. Lick McCree got into the action as well. Nice to see the tight end get in there as well. Looking at some of the stats from the game. USC first quarter 21 nothing. So they kind of let it be known that we're not playing around today. We're gonna blow your doors off early. 28 points in the second quarter kind of iced the game for them, and they just put Miller Moss in. I think the only thing I would want to see from USC, but I kind of want to see Malachi Nelson. I mean, this game was a blowout enough where I thought in the last two drives they could have got Malachi in the game. But it is what it is. No Malachi Nelson. Like I said, Austin Daniels got hurt. I was only 2 for 7 with an INT in the ball game, and then Miller Moss came in 11 for 15, 112 yards after Caleb Williams 19 for 21, 3 touchdowns, 281 yards. He only played a half football. That's how dominant they were. And Marshawn Lloyd, again, man, 9 carries, 77 yards. I think that's where I know people love the Colorado Buffaloes, but I think that's where USC can really challenge the Buffaloes. And I would love to see. I can't wait to see that kind of match back and forth with Deion Sanders and Lincoln Riley, because they're not big enough up front to deal with the offensive line that USC has. So what do they do to stop it? Because obviously, if you try to commit a lot to the run, and you got Caleb Williams back there, that's gonna be you're asking your DBs to do a whole lot in the secondary. So we'll see what happens there. But like I said, Taj Washington, 4 catches, 73 yards. Deuce Robinson got involved in this one, 4 catches for 71 yards. It's funny because you see all these numbers, and these NFL scouts are not going to be able to. Some of these guys who are going to the draft from this wide receiving core, Mario Williams, people like that, they're going to have to just go by combine stuff, because they're not going to be able to look at the stats, because there's so many weapons on this team that they're not going to sit there and just, be able to look at numbers and say whatever you want as far as the production goes. They spread USC did a great job of spreading the pigskin out to everybody in his wide receiving core. Brendan Rice, 1 catch, but that 1 catch was a 75-yard touchdown pass, which was a beautiful just a beautiful double move. And he just did a great job of getting by the corner and just flat out just burning him down in the middle of the field. So USC wins again 56-15. Just kind of a quick recap before I get a chance to even look at anything. Look at my notes trying to see if I forget anything as far as things I want to kind of get across to you. But no, not really. I mean, there was another punt return by Michael Jackson the third that was brought back for a touchdown, but on a penalty. So I don't, he was kind of a little salty on the sideline about that one. So that is what it is. As far as that goes, Kyron, where Hudson had a catch, Jacoby Lay had a catch, Zamora had a catch. So kind of all your fan favorites. I do like the fact that Caleb Williams, there was a play where he was on the outside, broke contain, and he had an opportunity to score a touchdown himself, but he made sure he got the ball to Lake McCree to give Lake McCree a touchdown as well. So that was kind of cool that your leader make sure you get in the end zone as well too. But it was really nice to see Zachariah Branch do his thing, the defensive line do its thing, knocking out a quarterback. I mean, I don't want somebody out for the season, but to knock out a quarterback is a big thing in the sport of football, because you got to get that second quarterback in. It's probably going to be a loss. It's probably going to be a loss as far as that goes. But I think that was good, and they just did it. I mean, they just came out very businesslike. It was it was a business trip, even though it was a home game. It was a business trip, and they just went there, handled their business, and that was it. They were like, "Yo, let's just go." Some dudes on this team just said, "Hey, I only want to play a half of football, and I want to go home," and that's basically what they did. No Mason Cobb, so we'll see if that's something that's serious. This team has the Trojans have a bye now, so they have a bye before they come back, and they go to the road for a couple of games. They go to play Arizona on the 23rd, and then they have that on the 30th of the month of September. They play Colorado in Colorado, which is going to be another trip to Boulder, and going to be another. Everybody and their grandmother is going to be there. Probably $5,000 probably have 5,000 media credentials. Wu-Tang and everybody will be on the sideline, just like they were today. Terrell Owens, people like that. So it's gonna be fun to see who comes on top of that game. But right now, USC has to take it one game at a time. They go to Arizona State. Those ugly uniforms. I don't know what they're doing with those uniforms out in Arizona State, but like get a bye week, get everybody healthy. Hopefully they can get the full allotment of players healthy, and then they'll be good to go as far as going at Arizona and then at Colorado. Student Body Right, USC podcast, kind of recapping the 10 win over Stanford. The last time we're going to see Stanford for a long time. So, hey, enjoy the ASC, enjoy the ACC. I heard the crowd was chanting ACC in the towards the end of that game. So, shout out to the homie Anthony who took his girlfriend to the game tonight. That was our first USC game, so you took it to a hell of a game, so that was cool. And then it's pretty much it. I kind of just wrap it up for you real quick, and then I'll do more in-depth stuff. We have 2 weeks before we get to USC, so we got a lot of time to kind of go over what we saw in these first 3 games for the Trojans. All right, so everybody, right? USC podcast. It's about 11:45. About to head to bed. NFL starts tomorrow. So you guys, I'm sure you guys on the West Coast will be eating breakfast, eggs and steak and stuff like that to get ready for. I think probably the best game of the early slate is probably Steelers Niners. So we'll probably be checking that out on the West Coast. All right, as always, support the show, like, subscribe, comment, and always, man, always continue, please, to always fight on.
They've been on the field a long time, and here comes Zachariah. Wow. How about a grapevine or a branch for you?